AEW is gearing up for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view on June 28th, so this week's show featured a few segments designed to hype some of those matches. One bout in particular got a lot of attention is a steel cage match that will see MJF and Mark Briscoe do battle with a different team. Not only did they reveal their teams this week, but we also saw them engage in a 12-man tag team match, and we also saw the continuation of the Owen Hart tournament. But we started things off with the first match of the night was Kenny Omega taking on Tony Nese in an unannounced match. These two great athletes who could have stolen the show enough time, but it ended up being glorified squash. He got the win, that made sense, and post-match TMDK hyped up his match against ZSJ at Forbidden Door, which was good, but the match itself kind of felt like it was a bit of a letdown, really. There's not much more to say about this one, because there wasn't much happening. It was just what it was, so I'm not really going to give it a grade. As we then moved on to Bandido and Brody King taking on John Moxley and Daniel Garcia in the second match, and this one was a doozy. Not only did they get a lot of time, but we did get a somewhat surprising outcome with Brodido getting a clean win over the Death Riders. Shafir played her part to perfection as the master at ringside, and seeing her get physical and Bandido was entertaining, but not as entertaining as her bargain contest with King. This was a strong match that made all four guys and Shafir look great. Brodido hasn't done much since dropping the tag titles, but seeing them get a win over a team like Death Riders definitely gives me confidence for them, so 7 out of 10. As we then moved on to Mercedes Moné and Hazuki competing in the semi-final of the Owen Hart tournament this week, with the winner facing My World and Athena at the oncoming Collision. It was just as good as their previous encounters, and both fantastic matches, and there's a big reason why it was so good is they were able to take their time. Much like Brodido versus Death Rider, this bout lasted long enough to have 2 commercial breaks, which isn't very common in AEW these days. Both women did an outstanding job making a near falls. I feel like it might actually be the end of the match, but in the end it was a submission that scored the CEO the win. This is one that you should definitely go out of the way to watch if you didn't see it live. 8 out of 10. As we then moved on to Team MJF versus Team Briscoe, MJF's team for Forbidden Door was revealed to be Fletcher, Knight, Okada, Doyle and Andrade during the first segment. Right before the main event, Mark Briscoe revealed Kyle O'Reilly, Roddy Strong, Orange Cassidy, Takeshita and Darby Allin. Before they all met in a cage with pay-per-view, they had a 12-man tag match to close the show. If you've been watching AEW for a while, you'd already know this match was going to be pure mayhem. This is how every bout is with these many people, which isn't a bad thing. The main event gave us some entertaining moments and addressed several ongoing and potential feuds, especially MJF and Andrade. And in the end, it was the world champion who got the win, making Strong tap out. A lot of fun, but definitely wasn't the best thing on the show. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And overall, this week's Dynamite was a little bit usual because it only featured 4 matches. How many we used to get every week during a 1-hour rampage. However, being light on matches didn't mean light on action. Bandido versus Death Riders, Mercedes v Hazuki, and the big main event all received a significant amount of time, which made sure to make an impact. Brodido defeating the Death Riders paved the way for Bandido to challenge Moxley for the Continental title at Forbidden Door. Mercedes won to advance to the finals of the Owen. Omega picked up a squash win, and MJF bested and Briscoe thanks to a little help from Callis. It may not go down as a memorable episode of Dynamite, but it was a fun show from start to finish, and the fact that in every non-wrestling segment I would continue to start so new feuds made the time feel well spent. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Peace out.